Welcome guys to my channel. I hear this all the time. I don't have money to invest. I barely have enough to pay my bills. Don't worry friend, I'm here to help you out. I have been there and I want to share with you today habits that I had to change in my life to allow me to live a life dedicated towards being financially free. I think these tips will be great for those who want to know how to invest but always feel like there's never enough money for them. First things first, let's talk about when to invest. It is time to invest when you have an emergency fund available. First, you should not invest when you don't have a fully funded emergency fund available, enough to cover 3 to 6 months of your household expenses. Currently, my emergency fund is big enough to cover up to 6 months of my household expenses. And before the pandemic, this was around between 3 and 6 months. But post-pandemic, I made a point to make sure that this is enough to cover up to 6 months of my household expenses. So I know I'm covered for 6 months without having to work. I chose to do more than 3 months, even though I advocate that people who are starting off should do around 3 months, because I have a high life insurance deductible. And I want to make sure that if any major incident should happen, I have enough to cover all these expenses and still cover my life insurance deductibles. So yes, I actually follow my own advice. Secondly, it's time to invest when you are out of debt. So you should never invest until you are fully out of all your debts. Temporarily put off all investing until you've paid off all your debts, except maybe your mortgage. If you have a fully funded emergency fund and you are out of debt, then that's when it's time to invest. For majority of people, if you look at their spending habits, I can guarantee you they will find money to start investing. Remember, you don't need to have a lot to start investing. You just have to make a decision to start. And remember this, it's never too late to start now. I think if you seriously consider and evaluate your financial decisions and put them in perspective, you will find that you actually do have money to start saving and even investing. If you find yourself in the crowd feeling like there's not enough money available at the end of the month, or you just want to free up more money to start investing, then these 9 tips will help you out. How do you invest when you feel like there's no money? Point number 1, make a budget. If you are living above your means, you will never be able to invest. One way to ensure you live below your means is to set restraints on your spending. That's having a budget. We don't like to hear the word restraint. The reason we don't like it is because we've grown up in a culture where we are told we can have whatever we want, whenever we want, and live our best life, whether we can afford it or not. I am not against living your best life, but your best life might not be the same as party next door. You have different income levels, different goals, and different family dynamics. Just like you have a plan for your day, your week, and your month, you should be able to have a plan also for your finances. That is what a budget really is. It's just a plan and nothing more. Point number 2, calculate how much you need to work to earn how much you are just about to spend. What is the opportunity cost of what you are just about to purchase? How many hours do you have to work to pay off what you are just about to buy, that item or the experience? Is it really worth it? I do this with all my purchases, and I can't tell you how many times I've thought, hell no, this is not worth working an extra hour, an extra month, or I have to work a full year just to pay off this thing. Start doing this with every single purchase, and I promise you, you'll see a change in your spending habit. You'll realize that suddenly that $50 iPhone case doesn't really feel like a necessity. It might just be another luxury that you want to acquire, and it's going to cost you working an extra 5 hours or possibly staying over just to do an overtime. Point number 3, delete your card information from online sites. Make yourself work for every purchase. It will make you think twice about what you are buying whilst you are taking the work to go and get your debit card. You know how it's super annoying when you have to buy something online and you have to run to the next room just to go and grab your card so you can put in that purchase. Many of us end up saving our card information on our favorite online shopping sites, so that we don't have to run to go and get this card. So we just have to breeze through the checkout process anytime you want to buy something online, without having to waste the energy to run, go get your purse or get the card information. Instead, I would advise that you delete all your card information from online sites and stores. This way, when you really want to purchase something, you will know that you really need it, because there is a cost-benefit analysis going on in your head whilst you are walking down to go and grab that card for the information just to input into the site. And the strain that you to put on your body just to lift your butt off the couch and walk to go and get that card information might just be enough to put you off from buying that luxury and saving that money. Point number 4, learn to love cheap entertainment. The number one way that you can cut costs and save money monthly to invest is slicing your monthly entertainment costs. Pre-pandemic, I was going out to eat a couple of times a week, mainly because I didn't want to cook, and secondly because I was spending so much time at work, and I'll end up spending time working, or maybe want to spend time after work hanging out with friends. The result was I was spending upwards of $300 a month on only just entertainment. How much are you spending monthly on entertainment? I challenge you to add up every time you go out to eat, the amount you spend over a month span, and just see how much you end up spending in a month. I can bet you it will be more than the number that you estimated in your head. Don't tell me I don't keep a budget, but I have an idea where everything is at. To be blunt, you have no idea how much you are spending. Number 5, be careful who you hang out with. Remember, you become who you hang out with. You know those friends that every time that you want to hang out with them, there's always like a $50 to $100 price tag attached to it. Yeah, let them know you are balling on their budget. Just take a minute and consider if you invest $100 every month for the next 30 years, considering an average return over that 30 years of about 10%, you would have contributed $36,000 to your retirement, and it will have a balance of over $206,000. Still feel like spending that $100 with that friend every time you want to hang out? That's a question for you. Carefully evaluate how your spending habits change depending on which friends you are hanging out with. We all have those couple of friends who spend money frivolously like it's going out of style. As a result, you are almost always spending more money when you are around them because you are either trying to keep up with them in your head or they are pressuring you to do so. You don't always have to say yes to plans. It is okay, and in fact more than okay, to sometimes just say no. Point number 6, instead of what you want now, ask yourself what you want the most. Every time you want to make a purchase, ask yourself, how is this going to affect my financial goals? Will this purchase hinder my ability to save? Do I have to take money out of my savings just to cover this purchase? Is a credit card the only option for payment because you are cash strapped until the end of the month for payday? You have to be willing to sacrifice what you want now for what you want the most. I know people who were willing to sacrifice a lavish honeymoon and extravagant vacations and costly weekend entertainment just to get out of debt. They did this by constantly reminding themselves what they want the most, where they wanted to go, and what they needed to do to get there. The ability to delay gratification is a skill that you will need to learn. That is priceless in your journey to financial freedom. Number 7, don't let others dictate how you spend. We won't be distracted by comparison if we are captivated with purpose. Eleanor Roosevelt said, no one can make you feel inferior without your own consent. If you are constantly trying to keep up with the Joneses, who, to tell you the truth, might be broke, you will spend the rest of your life struggling to pay off a lifestyle that you can't even afford. According to one report, more than 40% of millennials have gone into debt and spent money that they don't have just because they are trying to keep up with their friends. Millennials will put off buying a house or having kids, but you can bet we are going to have what's important to us right now. That's buying a brand new car to keep up with Pam next door, who is having an Escalade and a $50,000 student's loan debt sitting there waiting for her. We are literally putting ourselves in debt. That's financial slavery, just to keep up with people. Number 8, make goals and read them to yourself daily. Make both short and long-term financial goals and review them daily or weekly. We all know the impact that having written financial goals will have on us on the drive and ability to accomplish them. Make goals and make sure you put them where you see it daily to remind yourself. When making goals, ask yourself questions such as, how much do I want to have saved for retirement? What do I need to do to invest monthly to do so? Are there costs we can cut so we can start saving for that? Then be stubborn about your goals, but be flexible about the methods. Figure out what works for you and your family by doing try and error. Point number 9 will be avoid debt at all costs. It is hard to have money to save and invest when your income is tied up in monthly payments Just imagine a life without payment. Now work your butt off just to get there. Debt is financial slavery and there's no way around it. In every case, except for the purchase of a house, you are going into debt paying more than the purchase price for an item that is declining in value quickly. Doesn't that sound like a stupid idea? You win, it is. Before you start investing, make sure you get out of debt as quickly as possible. This is the biggest reason that most people can't save for retirement. However, most people don't see this because they are heavily consumed by debt and heavily marketed as the way out of life. You know what else is a way out of life in our world today? Retiring with no money and having to work until you die. If you are in debt, now you can quit scratching your head and wondering where all your money goes and why you can't invest. If you got value out of this video, kindly hit the subscribe button and join me on this journey to financial freedom. And also hit the like button so others too can also see this content and learn from it. Thank you and see you in the next video.